Welcome everyone back to the Card Man's Cards. I am the Card Man, and today we're going to be going over a deck that has a name but necessarily doesn't, because we're going over Trains. They are a group of Earth machine monsters, mainly consisting of level 10s and a few level 4s that can modulate, or if not, be modulated, to summon big rank 10 Earth machine monsters that go up into a rank 11 to either burn or OTK your opponent with attacks, depending on the big attack stats they have. Using some other monsters as extenders. This deck will be getting support, hopefully, here in Legacy of Destruction with the new rank 10 that they'll be using, on top of some new generic level 10 monsters that the deck can utilize in further updates. For the now, this is what I am running. You can definitely change any of these cards in this list if you choose to. Not 100% sure what the consistency will do, or however that goes. But for the time being, as Trains are doing disco apparently, we'll get into it. Trains is an older, I want to say archetype, because it's not necessarily an archetype. Nothing specifies Trains monsters. They're just a collection of monsters that all happen to be themed around trains or railroads that collectively work really well together. So this is not necessarily an archetype, more like just a group of cards. But the deck is referred to as trains, because that's what they are. They're just a bunch of rail-based vehicles, also trains. So, let's get started with our first monster. We have 3 Heavy Freight Train Duracrane. Duracrane, level 10 Earth Machine monster. If an Earth Machine monster you can is normal or special summoned to your side of the field, except during the damage step, you can special summon this card from your hand, but the original attack and defense become halved. Use this effect of Heavy Freight Duracrane once per turn. It has additional effect. If it is detached for the cost of an XE material, you can target one card your opponent controls. Destroy it. So very good extension and helps with popping cards. Next up is your overall main normal summon, which is weird to think about because it's a level 10. We're going to have 3 Night Express Knight. Put on there because it's a knight, like the nighttime, and then a knight, like the warrior kind. So yeah, he is a level 10 Earth Machine. Cannot be special summoned from the deck, but you can normal summon this card without tributing. Its original attack becomes 0. So it's just a big body if you contribute summon it out, but you normally summon this guy out just for level 10 alone, and these 2 guys alone give you just a big buddy, big monster. So just 3 Night Express Knight, and then we're gonna have 3 Super Express Bullet Train. These are the blue rare, I believe. If you control all Earth Machine monsters, you can special summon this card to your field. During the end phase, if this card is sent to the graveyard that turn, you can add an Earth Machine monster from your grave to the hand. And if you declare an attack, you must destroy 2 cards you control and to the grave. You can only use each effect of the following effect of Super Express Bullet Train once per turn. So again, just more extension. Very easy to make big end boards with these guys. And we have 3 Flying Pegasus Railroad Stampede. A level 4 Earth Machine. This is one of the 2 4s that you run. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can target one Earth Machine monster in your grave, except itself, special summon in defense position, but negate its effects. You can target one face-up card you control. The level of that monster or this card becomes the level of the other. So you can target one and modulate either this guy or the other ones. You can make 2 4s or whatever the other one is. In this case, it would be 10s. You can declare attacks the turn you activate this effect, except XE monsters. You can only use each effect of Flying Pegasus Railroad Stampede once per turn. So just another extension and free body. And then we have a few one-ofs. We have a Ruffian Railcar, Earth Machine. Once per turn, you can inflict 500 points to your opponent. You cannot conduct your battle phase the turn you activate this effect. During the end phase, if this card is in your graveyard, because it was sent to this turn, you can add 1 level 10 Earth Machine monster, type monster from your deck to your hand. You only eat this effect of Ruffian Rail card once per turn. So this is just good to send off other things or summon off of Urgent Schedule, which we'll be seeing later on, in addition to pitching for your field spell. And then we have 1 Exodius, the Ultimate Forbidden Lord. He is Dark, a level 10 spellcaster. Cannot be normal summoned, must be special summoned from the hand by shuffling all monsters in your grave to the deck. Can be summoned by other ways. When this card declares an attack, send 1 monster from your hand, deck, or grave. This card gains 1,000 attack for each normal monster in your graveyard. If this face-up card would leave the field, banish it instead. If there are 5 different forbidden card ones in your graveyard that was sent by this card's effect, you win the duel. You don't necessarily use it for the game-winning effect. You mainly use it just as a free level 10 body. And lastly, we have Machina Citadel. Level 10 Earth Machine monster, cannot be normal summoned set. Must be summoned by a card effect. Quick effect, you can target 1 machine monster you control. Destroy that machine monster. All monsters your opponent controls with the attack less than or equal to it. If a face-up monster, Earth Machine monster, it is destroyed by your opponent's card. You can summon this card from the graveyard. You can only each effect of Machina Citadel once per turn. So it is an interruption on your turn if you can get it. Also, it has a recursion effect whenever Earth Machine monster is destroyed. By any means, battle, card effect, all that jazz. Now we're running the Kaiju engine, just for the solid fact that they're really good at giving you generic bodies. So let's start with the ones that we run more of. 3 Jizukiru, the Star Destroying Kaiju, another level 10 light machine this time, just to give yourself a big body, because you would give your opponent a smaller kaiju while giving yourself the level 10 kaiju. And we have 2 Reitan, the multidimensional, just another different kaiju body. And then 1 Godarla, the mysterious dust kaiju. The other kaijus you use can be any other. I would recommend at least 2 Jizukiru just to get the additional 10 if you need it. But other than that, you don't necessarily have to have it, but it's very helpful if you do. Then we have 2 Effect Veiler. You can run more, you can run less. There's cards in here that you can definitely cut for more hand traps, but for the time being, I just run 2. And then we're going to move on to the spells. First up is going to be Terraforming, which just adds a field spell for you. Because your field spell is very important, especially if you can see it early on. It allows you to make multiple Ixies per turn. Speaking of field spell, we have 3 Revolving Switchyard. If you didn't know where trains go or what a train depot looks like, this is what they look like. It's Revolving Switchyard. Basically, there's a giant train depot, and they have a track that spins 180 degrees and lets them go into what direction they need. But Revolving Switchyard allows you, if you have a level 10 Earth Machine type monster, normal or special summon to your field, except during the damage step, you can summon a level 4 Earth Machine monster from your deck, but it is treated as a level 10 instead. And also, you can send one card from your hand or the grave, add 1 level 10 Earth Machine monster from your deck to your hand. Use each effect of Revolving Switchyard once per turn. The level 4 it summons has a restriction of 1800 attack, which is fine because both Ruffian Railcar and Flying Pegasus Railroad Stampede have that stat line, so that's perfectly fine. But yeah, just allowing you to either get another another level 10 on the 4 by modulating a level 4, in addition to summoning another one, adding another one from deck to hand. And we have 3 Urgent Schedule. Allows you to, if your opponent controls more monsters than you do, you can special summon 1 level 5 or higher, and then 4 or lower from your deck, allowing you to get big bodies to summon more monsters, or just overlay into other cards. And then we have 3 Limiter Removal. Just because you run big machine monsters. Poke. Doubles all the current attack of all machine monsters you currently control. And on the end phase, destroy those monsters. So this is definitely like game end, like, oh, you have a 5,000 attack body. Limiter removal. Haha. Just go to like 12,000 for funsies. And then we have one Called by the Grave, a very good card, especially in this deck. You like to add or summon from deck, so avoiding Ash is really helpful, or any hand trap in particular. So Called by is a very good one of. I sing his praises. I've lost to this card. I've won against this card. This card is great. I wish it was at 2. I know why it's not at 2, because this card is silly. If you're not sure what it does, it's a quick play spell. You can target one monster in your opponent's grave, banish it, and if you do, until the end of the next turn, its effects are negated, as well as the activation of activated effects and effects on the field of monsters with the same original name. So say, for example, your opponent Valors or Ash is one of your cards. You can Call by it, banish it from the grave, and its effects are negated. In addition to that, they cannot Ash or Valor you again, even during their turn, due to the effects of Called by. It lasts for 2 turns. That's what makes it really good, but also very silly. And we have 2 Interrupted Kaiju Slumber. You could easily run a third. I run 2 just because you see a lot of the kaiju names, so you can easily just oh, I have a kaiju. I get a kaiju. Oh, I got another kaiju. But this allows you to destroy all face-up monsters on the field. If you do, summon 2 kaiju monsters with different names from the deck, one to each side, but they cannot change their battle position, must attack if able during the main phase, except turn was sent to the grave. You can banish this card, add 1 kaiju monster from your deck to your hand. You only activate 1 Interrupted Kaiju Slumber per turn. So it allows you to get your big kaijus out. Then we have 1 Monster Reborn, just to summon back your big 10s. Then we have 3 traps. We have 1 Imperial Iron Wall, just so your cards can't be banished. That's the only thing it's really here for, just to help protect with that. And then we have 2 Titanocyter, which is a form of a negation. Target 1 face-up monster opponent controls that was special summoned from the extra deck. It changes attack to 0. If you do, negate its effects. Opponent special summons a monster from the extra deck while those cards in the graveyard. Except this turn, this card was sent to the graveyard. You can set this card. You can only use each effect of Titanocyter once per turn. So it's an easy way to put your opponent's cards to 0, while also giving you a negation. So for very easy attacking wing for game. That is the main deck. We're going to move on to the extra deck, which you will see is just a bunch of rank 10s and a few Link monsters. First up, we have 3 Super Dreadnought Rail Cannon Gustav Max. Detach a material, burn for 2,000. And it's not once per turn. So if you make 3, you can burn for 9k. Sorry, 6,000, which is hilarious. But yeah, just a free big 10, 3k, 3k. Just burn. That's all it really does. And then we have 3 Dora. You can definitely change the Dora out for another rank 10 if you choose to, which I definitely will be cutting this down by 1 for the new one coming out here in the near future. Rank 10 Earth Machine. Quick effect, you can target, you can detach 1 material from this card, target 1 monster you control in the field. That target is unaffected by card effects except its own until the end of the turn. So basically makes any monster you want into a tiny towers. It is 32 4k, so big defense. And the next up is the boss monster for the trains, I guess. Super Dreadnought Rail Cannon Juggernaut Lieb, or Liebe, some people pronounce it. You want once per turn, you can actually summon Super Dreadnought Rail Cannon Juggernaut Lieb using a rank 10 machine monster you control. Also, transfer its materials to this card. Once per turn, you can detach 1 material from this card. It gains 2,000 attack and defense. Also, for the rest of the turn, you can declare attacks only with this card. During each battle phase, this card can make attacks equal to the number of materials plus 1. So if it has 1 material, it gains 2 attacks. If it has 2 material, it has 3 attacks. So it gains attacks equal to the material plus 1. So very helpful if you can make a body with this with multiple materials. And then one number XX Utopia Dark Infinity level 10 Dark Monster. Sorry, rank 10. You can target another special summon monster from the extra deck and then gain life points equal to it. So it helps win in time. In addition to if you when your monster is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you can detach 1 material from this card and target that monster summon to your field in a defense position. So it allows you to get another body on your field to win for game if you summon this. And a few links, mainly just for utility. We have 1 Nightmare Phoenix, discard a card, pop a spell or trap. Nightmare Unicorn, Discard a card, target one card your opponent controls, bounce it back down, spin it back to deck. 1 Cleaveforce Genius. The Link Summon is unaffected by spell or traps, and then once per turn you can target one face-up card each player controls. Except this card, both players have their card's effect negated until the end of the turn. And when 2 or more monsters are summoned to the link arrows to this guy, you can add a 5 or higher machine monster. 1 Alsa the Earth Charmer, the immovable, just because you summon a bunch of Earths, so you can easily link off into this and then grab another one for like a free unicorn. Geno Transverser, just giving your opponent a little body, for example, say like they have a kaiju, and then you summon one of the baby kaijus and you can just flip-flop them around. And then 1 Pentastag for piercing damage. If you put your big trains in the area it points to, you can just poke. But yeah, that is trains. They are very fun to play. A little inconsistent when it comes to overall playing, just because they're easily stopped. It's not the best deck. It's a very fun deck. You can easily pair this with Shaddolls or any other engine that allows you to cycle monsters very easily or make level 10 monsters. So any real synchro engine that can make 10s really easily can easily be used in this. But yeah, this is the pure build. If you want to put other archetypes in it, you definitely can. There's nothing against it. But yeah, so this has been Trains, I guess. Yeah, because technically still not an archetype, just a group of cards. All level 10 machine monsters, level 10 monsters in general. But this is Trains. They try to OTK your opponent for big damage. Because Gustav Max and Lieb to the face is game. It's AK. But yeah, I'm the Cardman. This is Trains, in quotes, I guess. I am the Cardman. This has been the Cardman's Cards. Till next time, keep collecting.